Here we are diving in, returning again. MIB, Fanboy Cantina. I'm here to ask the question, where do we get the wonderful toys?
Where'd you get that fantastic intro? I see the little diving guides. I just knew I didn't see that.
Character is, of course, designed by art director known as Chai Star G. And my son put the animation to it. Speaking of Chai Star, it feeds right into the kind of let's go. It's been ages since it has been too many ages. So here we are now. And Junkyard, of course, also contributed. Man, Junkyard forever changing his image there. And I'm like, is it Junkyard? Is it not Junkyard? Upside down. Very, very innovative logo there, Junkyard. All right. So we're here to have fun. We're here to talk the simple pleasures of life in summertime. Yeah. We're here to talk. And Ted, a serious contributor, a serious commenter. Always good to have Ted around as well. Thank you for coming in, Ted. And Ted, feel free to feed into the comments as much as you'd like, because I'd like to also know when Ted is doing a brick and mortar spot, where his go-to places, and that's a good ways away down the map. But let's get a good list going. Okay, so and yeah, see,
there you go.
It's gonna happen.
The paths will meet.
Man, it's finally gonna materialize in one city or another, in one way or another. Let's open with MIB, your place that you've done four consecutive, but four shows from, highlighting all their wonderful toys. You're traveling from Cleveland area to Columbus area.
Yeah.
And how did you first hear of them? And then tell us about you. So please do check out MIB's own channel for this, but let's hear him tell the story now. How did you get connected to this shop and all of that?
You know, the connection to the shop really has been decades in the making, actually, because Big Fun had 3 separate locations. There's one in Lakewood, Ohio. There was one in Cleveland Heights, Coventry, and there's one in Columbus. So I just found out through other collectors about the one in Columbus, maybe I want to say 2017, 2018. And I was able to go to the MIB meet that was being held in Columbus, Ohio. And so I went there and I said, I'm down here. Why don't I check out this Big Fun toys that everybody keeps talking about that has a ton of stuff. And like I said, because I've known about them for decades, the one I would go to a lot was in Cleveland Heights, Ohio. So going there and that location actually, when did they stop? I want to say it was like around 2016, 2017, they went out of business. So I was left without that one, but they had another one in Lakewood, which wasn't too far. So I started going to that one, and then that one closed. And then that's when somebody told me about the one in Columbus, Ohio. And let's fast forward to 2019, MIB meet, some downtime in between eating and having fun at the MIB meet. I said, let's go over to me and my crew said, let's go over to Big Fun and do some shopping over there. And I got some videos, I think, from 2019 from the MIB meet. I don't think I did any videos in Big Fun at that time in 2019, but I bought a lot of stuff. I had some Star Wars action figures that I bought from there, 12-inch action figures that I bought from there. And that's where it all started from. And ever since then, it's a drive, though, from Elyria, Ohio, where I'm based at, to Columbus, Ohio, is roughly about 2 hours. So it's a 2-hour drive. And so I said I had some downtime on a weekend, and I said, you know what, let's go out there And I went out there for my birthday. Really, what started from last year, like last year, and then I want to say I went out there, had so much fun out there, and finding all these great toys for, he's got great prices out there, and I went back maybe 3 or 4 times between my birthday and July of last year. So I was like, at that point, I told him, I said, I'm a regular at this point. And so I've been going out there ever since, this year. So at least I try to get out there maybe 2 to 3 times a year now. So there's just, I have that much fun out there. It's just like walking into a time machine. It's therapy for me.
Forget about the hot tub time machine. This is the therapeutic time machine.
Yes.
Fanboy G, do you want to speak first on your local brick and mortar? Do you want to speak on the San Jose show at the fairgrounds? Which one did you want to weave into the conversation first?
Maybe brick and mortar. So near me, so I'm in Northern California. There's only maybe a couple of, I take that back. There's 3 good vintage toy stores that come to mind. There's Pot of Gold Collectibles in Concord, California. There's Toy Safari down in Alameda. There's Time Tunnel Toys in San Jose.
That sounds fantastic.
That is a great store.
The Time Tunnel.
And that is I think they've got like different I think it's toys on consignment. Maybe it's not, but there's a wide selection of different. That's a really good store. Pot of Gold Collectibles is also a good store. That one is a combination of, it's got its own stuff, and then you've got these consignment kind of deals where people rent out cabinets and then they're selling their own, toys or Pokemon cards or whatever the heck it is. But it's kind of a time commitment to drive to these places. I don't drive a lot in my normal day-to-day. I don't think I'm a homebody necessarily, but I don't drive a lot. So earlier today, my son and I went to San Jose for a car meet kind of thing. He's very much into cars. And it feels like a time commitment to just drive an hour plus to someplace. So 2 hours.
Job.
Yeah, that's kind of kind of a commitment. Yeah.
Right.
It's a little hard, but it's worth it. I get you on the whole therapy thing of, it's one thing to go to eBay and you're like scrolling through whatever the heck it is, but to see it in person, that is really special. That is really nice.
It is.
Yeah. How about you, Mr. C?
Well, I appreciate the question. Let me re-invite you, Ted. If you're still with us, I would love to see Ted pop in the comments of what are his local spots. I'm assuming Ted does have a brick and mortar somewhere within a 2-hour radius around his places we're talking. Now, before I come to mind, though, let me also say now, if it wasn't highly rated, that's all right because it's still the therapy. But let me know. So Big Fun in Columbus,
there you go.
overall rating 94. Product 91, customer service 96. So now, first of all, the word of MIB is enough. But in addition to the word of MIB, many other people are giving Big Fun Toy Shop in Columbus a high rating. Now, as to my spots, let me work in the timeline in the order in which they've been discovered. Gee, when you were in town some time ago now, we made it over to Smash Toys and Collectibles. Oh, yeah. And I will say, so that one, that's the easiest, right? That's a right name. That's maybe a 15-minute if I'm catching some red lights. And again, it's a real neat shop featuring vintage stuff, your Joes, your Star Wars, featuring current stuff also. And let me say, I'm using the terminology vintage shop, but when you get like I also saw in MIB's video footage of his, as you would call it, a virtual field trip in the Fanboy Cantina parlance. They still had some newer stuff in there. Also, you had some Archie McPhee, Sasquatch material over at Big Fun and all that. So in that same way, now trying to the common elements of these spots now. So Smash Toys is real good about, they'll have Marvel Legends, current stuff. And then my son is really big into collecting the Marvel Legends right now. So it's, again, something for everybody in the variety of the inventory. And then it is good times, and it is a therapeutic way. So now MIB, have you had, like, as I'll have over here for the Kane County Toy Show, as Fanboy G just recently attended in the San Jose, was it San Jose County grounds, or okay?
Yeah, the
have you
Santa
been
Clara,
to like a county fair grounds area that is converted into like a toy show where you have
like a toy
multiple
show
vendors coming to take tables?
I have the most recent one. The most recent one that I've been to, it was a combination of, I did a video, I think, on some of the action figures, Star Wars figures I got from there. It was at our IX Center, and anybody from Ohio knows the IX Center, which is closing, by the way. Goodness, everything's closing. But it's massive. It's located at our airport. So it's at the airport, and this installation, as I call it, it's more like an installation. It's not too far from our NASA complex here in Cleveland. But I went to it was a toy, and it was more like a retro 60s, 70s type throwback, where all of these vendors, it's a traveling show, and they stopped through from city to city, and then they were stopping through in Cleveland at the IX Center. So that was, oh my goodness. I got some, let me see here. I was able to find, and I found this.
Let me get the highlight up for Emma.
Yeah, I found this guy. This guy, along with two more 12-inch Star Wars. I'm still trying to complete my Star Wars figure collection, but 12-inch collection. But I found this at the IX Center convention, toy convention, and you name it. It had all baseball cards, clothing from the 1960s, and jewelry and all that stuff. But I was there for the toys, and was able to find, surprisingly, I found a lot of stuff that I couldn't even get because it's just too much. Budget wise, I was trying to keep my budget down, but I wanted to go and check this place out, and this is one of them. So this is what was this guy's name? This is the bounty hunter, Forlom. Yeah,
Forlom. Yeah, he's known in this house. Right.
So and finding some of these guys that I didn't even know existed, which was cool. Like I said, because I'm still trying to build that collection. But yeah, so and I want to say that's been about a little under a year, maybe 8-9 months almost now. So I want to say probably maybe not that long. That's the last one. I know we have a few here in Ohio that my fellow collectors ask me if I'm going to be at or sometime, but I don't like long lines.
Yeah.
Once again, we're just talking about work, and some of the lines at these shows that you have to wait and wait and wait to get in that's what's the one in San Diego Comic-Con?
Oh yeah.
It's just another one. It's very difficult for me. Was going to go there. The what's that? The C2E2?
Yeah.
If I'm saying that right. I'll be there. I got to get there. But that's largely because, my man, Mr. C, is going to be there. So I gotta link up with him. So I definitely got to be at that one, though. It's close.
And again, that'll be a running theme. We'll continue to hope and look for the stars to align where this happens. But let me bring Ted's comments in. And then we also have Chai Star comments and Junkyard comments. Guys, I drive a lot for work, says Ted Adam Green. A lot of 4 to 6 hour days. I'm assuming it's behind the wheel. I would drive a good bit to get to somewhere, and not thinking it's sadly no good vintage toy store or retro arcade anywhere in his area. Now, Ted's next comment says, if anyone knows of anywhere in the whole Georgia or an adjacent
goodness.
state, he would make
It's
the
hard. It's hard. It's very difficult. Listen, our hobby is it's not declining. I think it's somewhat becoming what's the word I'm looking for, guys?
selective.
So yeah, you know what, for lack of better words, let's go with selective. I think we are the last generation. You know, a lot of these shows are geared really more towards comic books. You can find a lot of, I bet you Ted probably can find a lot of comic book shows in the Georgia area. But you know what, Ted, I would say for your area, your state of Georgia, the top collectors in your state is probably Open by Chance and Lady Pop Hunter.
Right.
And because I think they live in Atlanta or somewhere nearby, the neighboring to you in that area. I want to say, yeah. So yeah, Ted lives in Georgia. So I would say definitely ask those guys. They have all of the top toy shows that's in the Georgia area that's coming out. They know when it's coming out, when it's happening, so they can give you a list. I mean, a list of toy shows. But it's becoming difficult.
Yeah, having a brick and mortar store though is nice to go to.
Yes.
Regular, yeah. I feel like 20, maybe 30 years ago, there was more of a allure of antique stores. You know, that was like a thing. You go on road trips and maybe to a small town and you would see antique stores. And before the existence of eBay, that was kind of how else were you going to find vintage toys? It was through these events or antique stores, and that was it. Right. I think right now in Georgia, I assume it's Atlanta because the event's called Jolanta. So the Jolanta conference is happening right now this weekend. But that's specific to, I think, like G.I. Joe, Oliver's, and those collectors.
Yeah.
But it's nice to have a broad swath of different things, and yeah, it can be kind of hard to find these things.
It's hard. I think eBay. You touched on eBay, Fanboy G, earlier. eBay has, for me, I know a lot of people really don't like eBay like that, but they had their own bad experiences and whatnot with it. But I have not had any really horrible experiences with eBay. eBay is the really the future. I mean, it's the now. It's what we're doing now, especially for my kids' generation and our kids' generation.
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, I spent decades looking for a Long Ranger figure that was sealed, factory sealed in this bag. The box had to be perfect and all of this stuff. And I remember telling a clerk at Big Fun, and you can see this exchange between he and I on my video, one of my on location videos there, and he's going and he's looking at all of the loose Long Ranger figures for me, and I'm saying, because at this point I'm ready to give up because I don't think I'm going to find what I'm looking for. And I remember his statement to me. He was like, because I told him, I was like, and by chance, if a factory sealed in the bag, perfect, mint, pristine condition Long Ranger comes through the store, he looked, trust me, find that video and look at it. Just look at all the Big Fun on locations videos, because I don't know exactly which one it was. The look he gave me, he turned back and looked at me. He was like, in other words, you got to be crazy. Are you sick? He was like, that's never going to happen. That's literally never going to happen, man. And he was like, I don't know, toy shows or whatever. He said that your chances are slim of that ever happening for you. He's like, but by chance, if that does happen, if one comes through here like that, believe me, we'll reach out to you. And really, I just thought it was over. So, but going to a toy show, and like Fanboy Cantina said, look, at the end of the day, a lot of these toy shows are selective in what they're doing. You got the Barbie shows, the gem shows, you got the GI Joe shows. Will you find other toy lines and products and items there from the 70s and 80s and 90s and stuff? Yes, but it's me trying to find Long Ranger is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. So eBay really just supersedes all of that. So that's where I found it at, though, eBay. So that's where I do, as far as the driving, long hours to get to these places and stuff. A lot of my some of my best deals were done in my lazy boy with my cup of coffee, my phone, and me just scrolling through on eBay. And I found the Long Ranger like that. I found Tonto, factory sealed in his bag. Great price on that. I found that like that. I'm looking at some Micronauts from the 1970s, still mint on the card.
Oh, wow.
Micronaut figures and things of that nature. Some Migos from the 1970s, mint on their cards. I'm looking at some of those guys. That's what I do now.
That's awesome. It is.
I don't like
it. Is
it.
so much easier. Yeah.
It's easy. I'm with you though, Fanboy. I just wish we had more toy stores.
Yeah.
Toys R Us is gone, and the mom and pop shops. I have another one located, another toy shop located in oh my goodness, Lakewood, Ohio. My son actually told me about this one because he wanted to go get a tattoo or something. And so his tattoo shop is located in there. But he said, "Hey, Dad, if we're down in there area, there's a place called the Apple Box." The Apple Box. Did you find it?
I think is that Apple Jack.
That's it. Thank you.
See, I'm just
Apple
like their
Jacks.
entryway that they're working off of the dime into the corner there, and the way they have their entry door.
Thank you. That's it. I keep calling it the Apple Box, the Apple Jacks. I had the bag somewhere around, but there you go, Apple Jacks.
Okay.
See, I would have had people running around Lakewood looking for the Apple Box, but just to show you, I've only been there twice. And the first time I went there, I found a mint on card. Hold on 1 second.
Sure.
Hold on 1 second. I can find it.
Meanwhile, MIB, I'm going to buy you some minutes here. Let me come in there some comments while you're doing your research or your
my goodness.
Boomer toys are booming. Used to be called, now it's Unk by my son. Yeah, the younger generation likes to throw out the Unk, and it's not a term of endearment. It's Ted Adam Green had moments ago.
Toylanta.
Toylanta is the best show. There are a lot of people there, so they got another crowd. Joe Lanta and Joe Fest is newer. Oh, so it's Joe specific. Okay.
Yeah.
And not as much as one of the 70s of the youth.
Yeah,
Kung Fu Grip. Absolutely. And then Ted had another, which is to say, hard being a fan of the 8 to 12 70s figures. Yes. Yeah. And that was the whole, right? The Kenner and Star Wars changed the paradigm. Absolutely. Let me get to Chai Star, and then we'll jump back to Chai's point. I'm sure there's a storage locker in your small town with yes, so
probably a lot of them.
Those hidden treasure chests are out there.
There is. And so I went to Apple Jacks. Okay, JAX. Okay,
That's
Apple
right.
Jacks, I believe, toy store, toy shop. And I'm just milling around in there. They have some great stuff like the 2XL robot from Migo and all that stuff.
Oh my goodness.
They had some great stuff. But this was tucked away in a corner somewhere. And it's a GI Combat. And these figures were like they were made by Migo, but other companies made these, and these came out in the early 1980s, 81, 82. This one is from 1983. So finding this, and I got it for $25.
Oh wow.
You know, $25 mint on card item for $25, which goes on eBay for anywhere from $100 to $150. Is you know, is
That's
insane.
amazing.
Yeah, if not more. But yeah, so I mean, I went there and I found that, and the feeling, guys, the joy of walking into a toy shop and finding something like that, or something that you've been looking for. Like I was at in Big Fun. Well, here I don't want to. I'm gonna create a tidal wave over here. An
No.
avalanche. But I've been looking for this Luke Skywalker. This
Oh
Luke
yeah, Jedi
Skywalker.
Luke. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's got the glow in the dark lightsaber, and up here you can see up here he's holding the bone where he fought the Rancor monster. Okay, and so finding this guy, you know, I've been looking for him and looking for him, and to go into Big Fun maybe a couple weeks ago, and to find that guy for $15.
Oh wow.
Okay, $15, and that price beat anything on eBay. You know, because you don't have to worry about shipping stuff. You don't have to worry about paying that extra postage and all that stuff. You know, you could just walk in there. The joy of finding this stuff, and I pulled this guy out. My electronic.
Oh yeah.
Back to the one
Yeah, the
shot again.
talking electronic Darth Vader, you know, figure. Finding this now, mind you, I have another one. So because if I like a figure enough, I'll get two. But I saw this at Big Fun, and I already had this guy. But finding him at Big Fun in that condition, that beautiful condition, for $30. I mean, that's the fun part. That's what I miss, is you know, having the toy shops, you know, around in our neighborhoods, and you know, more readily available, more convenient, just for everyone. You know, not where you have to drive 2-3 hours just to get to these places. I'm not complaining, because I'm glad we have that option. But I just wish, you know, like Fanboy said, I just wish we had, you know, more of them. You know, we're sadly missing that.
It's fun to see it in person. Like eBay requires effort. It's not the same as going into the store and, oh my goodness, I forgot this franchise from the 80s or the 70s or some other time period. I have forgotten this line. Well, at the San Jose toy show the other day, I was surprised by. So this is outside of my generation. I was surprised by kind of this millennial attraction to street sharks, and there was some kind of pizza cats thing. I vaguely remember these. These were from the 90s. But it was cool, even though that's not my interest. It was cool to see, oh, okay, there's a younger generation than me that is clamoring for toys. But to one of your points, MIB, it feels like we're the last generation, unfortunately.
Yeah. Sadly, like I said, there's a few younger collectors that sprinkled throughout, you know, that's trying to hold the mantle up for us. But it's just, I don't know. I don't, like I said, I think we are it. And I don't have a huge problem with that, because I mean, I guess when it's, you know, in 30 or 40 or 50 years, when I'm 100 years old, I guess that'll be it. But I mean, would I like to see our hobby continue to grow and gain traction and get stronger? Yes. But I just don't see it. I mean, because there's so much, the technology now available to the new generation. Like my kids don't care about any of this stuff. They care about it because who it belongs to. So, but that's not caring about the items
themselves.
you know. Yeah, so I don't have anybody I can pass this stuff along to like that.
But Mr. C, you've got with if we could go there, your kid, you just spoke about it, has some degree of Marvel Legends interest, so that's cool. That's nice.
Right now, let me be cautious because I didn't shut the laundry room door, so I'm going to pivot cautiously. But his Lego station.
Okay, all right.
I'm not.
Yeah,
okay,
no, that's excellent.
I need to move my head out of the way. Anyway, his Lego station is just over here. Let me just slide this way. That way, I don't have to worry about the laundry room.
I mean, that is cool. That
careful there, sir.
There is that. There is.
Here we go. So we got some Lego Lego Daily Bugle, Lego this, Lego that. Yeah. He's got his full Lego corner over here. Nice. But now that he's also really incorporated Marvel Legends into his stuff, I'm all for the father-son experience of chasing down the stuff. Yeah. So that yes, I'm glad that you fed me that. Yeah, I absolutely enjoy the experience, and I think as we have bantered, like you made me like again tying back to Joker Batman, like where did he get the wonderful lines, the wonderful
let's get those wonderful
toys from Jack Nicholson from the Batman '89 movie. So similar in there, who made who. So we've said about as we were younger collectors with our Kenner Star Wars and our G.I. Joe characters back in the day, like it was slightly competitive, I'll say. But let me say this. Now Junkyard's dropping another comment. Let me come back to Junkyard's earlier comment. Okay. And we got so much wealth of material here. But Junkyard, as he notes the backgrounds, loves the masks behind MIB. And although he can feel the sweat on his face here in the summertime already and the condensation under his nose. So let me again go one shot to MIB. We got a Ben Cooper Batman. And what's the other one that's behind your head immediately, MIB? Is it Superman or
Superman? Yeah,
Superman.
Those are great. These
are actually right. These were reproductions that I picked up a couple years ago. What's that Halloween place that opens up every Halloween store? Spirit of Halloween. Yeah, so you go to Spirit of Halloween and I saw these and he wanted like $30, $30 for those figures, for those masks and the little outfits and stuff. And once again, it was just it was something that I didn't want to, as much as I liked them, I didn't want to pay for them. Yeah. I didn't want to pay $30. So I came back at the end of Halloween. Things were starting to wind down. Everything was going on sale at Spirit of Halloween, and they had them for like $9.
Oh my goodness.
Per box. Yeah. So I said, I cleaned up. I think I got Batman, Superman, Darth Vader, Yoda, the Flash, and I think something else. But I cleaned up. So every one that they had, I grabbed.
That's awesome.
And gee, some years ago for that very Ben Cooper Batman mask, did we not unbox that on your channel?
I think Halloween we did. Good memory.
And what classic line did you recite at that time?
I don't remember. What did I say?
You put the mask over your face, and then what other line is there to go to once you have the mask over your face? But for I'm Batman.
Awesome.
All right. Comments. So let me compare. Chester with that GI Combat. No, but I feel like the GI Combat.
And then again, comic book, right?
Yeah, it's a comic book. Actually,
it was a comic book series.
It's a DC comic book.
Yeah,
and actually, once again, a toy company by the name of Lion Rock start mass producing these. Mego started it, but I guess Lion Rock bought the rights or something. If I'm correct about that, if somebody could correct me on that, but I think that's how it went, from licensing rights and stuff like that. Other toy companies got licensing rights for this toy, but it's really a Mego figure. it's a Mego figure, Mego body and everything. They were a little smaller. I think they came on the 6-inch Teen Titan bodies, male bodies. So they were a little smaller than the Mego figures. So I guess that was their little niche there with how they produced these figures and promoted them. So, but military, you name it. But yeah, I mean, it was a cool toy line. I vaguely remember these figures back in '83. I was coming out of that toy phase, almost, not quite out of it, because I was 13. So back in '83, so I was still there. But at that point, I think what do we have in '83? We had Masters of the Universe and things of that nature had pretty much taken over the toy aisles at Kitty City and Children's Palace and Toys R Us and all the places and stuff. But and Star Wars is always big too with the 3 3/4 inch figures. So, but yeah, I mean, I would like to see, and this is a completely another topic for another situation, another panel discussion or something. But I would love to see toys like this again being produced.
Yeah.
12-inch action figures with cloth goods being mass produced, not just for online use or just for a limited run. I would like to see these toys being produced again and reappearing on toy store shelves or toy shelves like Walmart, Target, places like that, where we can just go out to Target, get a cup of coffee, go down to the toy aisle and see these great toys. There's nothing down there, those toy aisles now. Nothing. So that's why I love Big Fun and Apple Jacks and the places that Fanboy was talking about, and Mr. C was talking about. It's so much fun walking in there because you're seeing a lot of this stuff. But I would like to see a lot of that stuff in regular retail stores now.
With your two thoughts, two things, two reactions. Completely agree.
Right.
The gap that the drought, the complete absence of the 12-inch GI Joe figure is just baffling to me. It was around for decades, and then it disappeared with the Real American Hero line. Then it came back again, and there's not even a peep of the 12-inch line coming back at all. It's not the same where, you got to pay a premium for some other company or the Hot Toys, kind of line. That's not a thing for me. I don't have the budget for $200-$300 for a 12-inch. I just can't do that.
No.
So
I gotta be able to sleep at night. We need it. We need stuff like that. Go ahead, Mr. C. You want to say
even
something?
Mego was very limited in their exercise, guys, right? So you had Creature, Dracula, and maybe Frankenstein out of the monster line. Then you had General Zod and a Superman, but like they did not go full boat. Maybe that's because it wasn't selling. So let me also say we were joined internationally across the waters. Randy from the Graveyard Club podcast. Randy, if you want to drop in the comments if they're current day or old day names of toy shops anywhere in the Emerald Isle, anywhere in the Ireland proper, feel free to put those in. Let me hit Randy and then let me jump back to Junkyard. Thank you, sir. We try to stay sick, but Randy, let me tell you, if you get your way to MIB's channel, that is a whole, as he calls it, is a museum of collectibles.
It is a museum.
Please come on through. We like to have you. Don't cross the streams.
Comic relief as always. He's Spangler.
Yes.
So I feel like so where was it? Let me come back to Junkyard again. Junkyard, I appreciate your patience, Junkyard. You're dropping commentary gold in the comments. Many years ago, Junkyard was in Montreal, north of the border, and still remembers the joy of walking into the toy store because Junkyard, it's all over the Thunderbirds, Anderson's Thunderbirds toys, since they did not make it big in the U.S. in the 70s. That's what I'm talking about. You walk into place, Some things maybe you expect to be there, other surprises you get. And that goes back to Johnny's experience walking in a big fun. Like every corner you turned, there was another amazing thing to go. And I want to tie together, Fanboy, what are your current grails or recently acquired grails? And after Fanboy G speaks on that, I want to get more into the pull down of the long standing Gabriel toy Lone Ranger. But G, for recent grail acquisitions or relevant grail, like something you had to wait on for a minute to bring into your collection?
Well, I've talked about before, your Kenner's Death Star playset is a grail of sorts for me. I see it off and on at different conventions or on eBay, and I think about it, but I've yet to pull the trigger. That one is desperate for like a HasLab or some kind of modernization.
Yes.
It's bizarre that there hasn't been a
I'm
new
shocked.
take on
Yeah.
it, you know?
I'm shocked.
So that would be one. I'd let one go. Not far, but there was like a grail thing that I had that I've been looking for.
Right.
Mr. C, we haven't talked about this. So when I was a little kid, one year I had this Burger King playset. It was a cardboard like hut thing, and it was a Burger King. And I thought it was a lot of fun. And then and I got it for a gift one time. And then my dad, I don't know if he threw it away or got damaged, or I never saw it again. And then for literally decades on eBay, I have been looking for this thing. And then it popped its head a couple months ago. And it was like $400 with the shipping. And I saw it and I thought,
wow.
I'm glad it exists, but what the heck am I going to do with this thing?
Right.
It's just sort of like the reality that there was this grail, and then, I'm good. Yeah. So I saw it on eBay, and I'm good. So I don't know if I actually have any grails, Mrs. C.
All right, then that brings us into the territory of Lone Ranger. After MIB does some Lone Ranger and Tano storytelling, I'm going to come back to Ted's comments, which Ted's being again generous to drop gold in the comment section. So, or MIB, it ties back to. Let me bridge over. So I watched that video of which you had referred to, and that guy was like, I'm paraphrasing him. It's small probability. It's not likely. And you're like, but here's my contact information anyway, just in case, because you were pursuing the dream, right? You had to leave no stone unturned in your search for Gabriel produced Lone Ranger. Now Gabriel long out of business, as is Kenner and stuff. But so then you find your way on eBay. It comes to you. Walk us through the opening of the package.
Oh my goodness! Well, finding it on eBay at the price I found it at, and mind you, I mean, I knew it. I was going to have to bite on the bullet at some point because they're expensive. But I found it at like a good price to me, which was a fair price, because I've seen this particular figure go as high as maybe $600-700. But I found this one for $330. Maybe probably about $360 after the shipping and all that tax and stuff. It's about $360, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, I could not believe it. And believe me, I didn't want it. I didn't feel like, the Fanboy's earlier point. I wasn't excited about parting with $360, nearly $400.
Yeah.
But I knew that I was never going to find him at that. I got to go get him. Hold on 1 second.
And then G, again,
That's
just
awesome.
for frame of reference, the NECA Universal Monsters line is the current high end. Okay, so to get either the full collection or most of the collection in color and black and white, so you get a color Dracula, black and white Dracula, rinse and repeat down for the big names of the monsters. That would go roughly $400 to complete the entire set that way. So now, for frame of reference, here's MIB, driven by the need to
Yeah.
find the Lone Ranger, his
I
white
get
whale,
it.
and Grail.
I completely get it. I understand.
Oh my goodness. So I mean, because everybody knows the story. And
Wow.
taking
Look at
him
that
out
box.
would be a headache to take him
Yeah,
out
yeah,
because
yeah,
putting him
yeah.
back in,
Yeah.
you don't want it to damage the factory sealed bag that
Wait,
he's.
MIB, do you need another minute to go get some gloves on?
I know.
Oh, that's
This
nice.
listen, this guy,
That is
get
nice.
finally getting this guy. You know, I got to be honest. I got a little emotional. Okay, getting the shipping box came in because you're talking about a journey from 1974, Christmas of 1974, moving from Detroit, Michigan to Cleveland, Ohio in 1974. And my first Christmas here, and going to Woolworths, downtown Cleveland with my aunt, and seeing this box
Mm.
with the other box that had silver in it, and I went ballistic. I went bananas, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, I have to," you know, and just to show you how badly I want this, and how much box art matters. I didn't physically see the toy itself. I saw this. That's all I saw. So this to show you the marketing of 1970s you know, toys. We didn't have to see the toys to want the toy, you know. So saw that, but getting that, you know, like I said, I felt that my collecting journey literally had been completed.
Wow.
If I don't pick another toy up or find another toy, I am absolutely fine at this point. I've spent decades looking for that toy in that condition, and to finally have him in my collection, um, now it just, I can't. I like I said, I'm beyond words. But it didn't stop there, because I always knew about Tonto, um, but he was another one that was very difficult to find. And I said, you know what? And once again, sitting in my lazy boy with a cup of coffee, I said, well, let's find Tonto. I mean, is it possible I can hit another trifecta? Could I find something else? And sure enough, I ain't got to run and get this guy. And I brought him in there too. Sure enough, you know, I was able to find
Mm.
Tonto as well. Factory sealed in his bag,
Wow.
boxes in beautiful condition from 1975. Both figures are actually from 1975, so they're a little later um, in years. I was from my original was from 74, but let's be honest. I mean, it was Christmas of 74, right? So in 5 or 6 days, it was going to be 75. So, but finding those toys like that was just, to me, fantastic. And then, you know, what I want to do now, I was telling Mr. C this earlier. We're trying to figure out things that, you know, we were going to put our agenda together, how we're going to,
Yeah.
you know, what we want to talk about. But things I want to do now, and direction I want to take the museum in now, is to, especially after finding Long Ranger and Tonto, I said, you know what? Now I have a new direction. I spoke about this about a year ago in a video about just focusing more on vintage items. But I just don't want to focus on any vintage items that I come across. I want to focus on the vintage items that I had, or I remember having, my brothers having, or I had, or a friend having as a kid, that really connected with me now, that really keeps me thinking about, you know, fantastic memories growing up in the 1970s and early 1980s. So there was another toy that I found, vintage Mego action figure that I found, our Christmas from 1981. It was a lean Christmas, very thin Christmas. We didn't have a lot of money that time frame, and my aunt, who pitched in to kind of help us out for Christmas. Took us to, I want to say it was to Children's Palace. I want to say it was Children's Palace. And we went there, and she said, listen, you guys can get a couple things for Christmas. We'll take them home, we'll wrap them and, put them under the tree. And fantastic. God rest her soul. But we did that, got there, and I was a huge Batman and Robin and at the time, 1981, Chips was huge on TV. Eric Estrada was my guy. Okay, that was my favorite character from Chips. So I saw that Mego had made an action figure of Punch, was his character's name, and I said, you know what, I have to have that. And I was so excited to get that figure. And being a kid, being 11 years old, not understanding the financial strain that parents go through, and the decisions that they have to make as adults, and to on juggling all of that and trying to keep us happy, and above, the main things are fed and clothed and a roof over your head and all that stuff, and try to keep us happy on top of that. And those are the memories I'm talking about. And that was the connection I had with that Punch figure, and the memory that I had of that Punch figure, which is vintage now. It's 1981, but finding him was once again, was extremely difficult. But I remember my aunt just telling me the coolest part about this whole story was that we set it on a tree, and she said, you ain't got to worry about it. Don't wrap them. Because you guys are so into just looking at the toys, right? So I got them, they're underneath the tree, and I'm looking at them and stuff, and which is torture, right? It's absolute torture. So, but she was getting lunch ready, and she just came back into her living room area where the tree was at, and she was like, listen, guys, I'm going to go make lunch. You want to open those toys right now? Go right ahead. I mean, best words I've ever heard. And the first toy that I opened was the Chips figure.
That's amazing.
Punch. So to have this guy, the way I first remember seeing him at Children's Palace and underneath the Christmas tree, looking just like this, before I ripped him off of the card and discarded the card. I wish I had time machine. I'd jump back in and slap the younger MIB. Don't do that. Don't do that. But listen, you can't beat this. You can't beat it. And he's meant on card. He's never going to come off that card. It's memory. So that's where we're really here at the museum. We're really hunkering down and gearing up all of our financial firepower, and we want to direct it at least for the next 3-4 years, because it's about as much as I got, as far as just buying stuff, and to really focus in on toys from my childhood, vintage toys from my childhood. That's just, for me, that's the goal. I have a clear-cut goal. Before, it wasn't a clear-cut goal. Now it's a clear-cut goal of what I want to do.
Yeah, that resonates for me. I haven't bought a lot of. I used to get a lot of Black Series figures or Vintage Collection figures or Marvel Legends figures. But at the end of the day, or at my current sentiment about it, I don't have as much of an attachment to it. Some of them, I really like the look of it, or it's a particular character, and there's something there. But for other stuff,
yes,
if it's just for the sake of trying to complete a Build-A-Figure, which I guess they don't do anymore. But some of the past purchases would be like that, and just okay, this is kind of pointless, or it didn't have a connection. So for me.
Right.
Like I'm thinking about more recent eBay purchases. One thing that I picked up was there's from the 70s, this Hasbro shooting gallery toy. And what it was is there's this little strip that went across. It was a flashlight that would shine on your wall, and then
Yes.
you would shoot these biplanes going across.
I remember that. I remember the commercial.
Yeah. So I got it the other day, and it's mint in the box, and I actually have two of them because one of them I do want to play with.
You want to play with it?
I want to play with one again. So I've kept one that's immaculate, and yeah, it'll be for in the box. But the other, see, I have a connection to it because I remember as a kid playing that with that toy. And
I
so
see the look
yeah,
on your face,
I get
man.
it.
The look on your face, you explaining that to us, the way your face lights up, man. You know, when you were explaining that to us, that's what I'm after.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I want to gear my channel towards, to try to pull people in. You know, those memories, those childhood memories, those toys that and we all have them. Everybody has those memories of, you know, that special toy, that special moment, you know,
Absolutely.
of having that toy, you know, what you were doing at the time, you know, the whole process. So that, you know, that's what I want to go after now. That's what I really want to gear up for and focus all of my attention that I have towards that, because seeing your face light up like that, explaining and sharing that story meant the world, you know. And I'm sure our viewers and listeners here, you know, are taking all that in as well, you know, and really processing that and thinking about some of their special moments.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
All right, G, I know you're due to take off at least in a couple minutes, unless your schedule has changed. So I want to be respectful of the other time commitments.
Well, I can hop off and you two talk amongst yourselves. But it was, I don't know why you do that voice it's like a Saturday Night Live skit from the 80s. You know,
Right.
who remembers that? Coffee talk.
Coffee talk. Right.
But MIB, Mr. C, it's great seeing you guys again.
It's a pleasure, Fanboy.
All right. I'm going to sign off, but lovely seeing you guys.
Do check out the Fanboy Cantina channel.
Okay.
Gee, we'll catch you off the camera soon enough, sir.
All right. Sounds good. See you guys.
All right, brother. All right. Take care.
MIB, let's hit some of these comments that have been sitting here now. Again, I can't interrupt your flow of storytelling, so we appreciate the patience of the commenters. Let's come back to your pal and then my pal, Ted Adam Green. I want to buy, says Ted, cool toys, not expensive, collectibles. One reason I'm loving the current new Mego, and that McFarlane line has some gems. And Jim Campbell, I don't know where Jim Campbell is tonight, but Jim Campbell is keeping those texts to me. Oh, hey, here's another McFarlane. Here's another McFarlane. And I love that text conversation with Jim Campbell and myself. Single figures at 20. That's right. See, yes, the affordability is really appreciated and appreciable.
Perfect.
Oh, Airwave
price right.
If I'm going to spend that money, I'm going to do on a commission. I think Ted is telling us he's recently put. Now you want to talk deep cuts characters. You want to talk about not the major marquee, but as I have developed over time an appreciation for some of these, including Airwave, and you got your why am I drawing a blank on him? Mystery in Space, the Zeta Beam, the red suit and the rocket on his back. I can't pull, but anyway, those deep cuts DC characters, that is awesome that Ted's got that in the workshop. Maybe we got to get another on a actual vintage toy that was originally produced on the shelf. All right, now coming up now we have Sailor King Nightwing. Has the NECA figures except for the Gill Man. That is a valuable, serious collection. That is good stuff. Randy is saying sweet. He said sweet some 10 minutes ago. He said sweet. Chai Star is coming with the YOLO if you're able to. Coming back to the Graveyard Club podcast. And people, sometimes I guest over on Graveyard Club podcast and we're talking about classic monster movies, Universal movies. I encourage people who are of that interest to go over to the Graveyard Club podcast, whether I'm a co-host or not. and hear what Randy and the panel are talking about from week to week, from time to time. NECA Gilman, truly a beautiful figure. Now more talk on that. He's great, and the only one I have in grayscale. Chai-Star has to say the toy packages in our days. There you go. The art. See, it's coming from the artist talking about the art
Beautiful.
on the package. As evidenced on that Lone Ranger in his powder blue gear right there. Beautiful thing. All right, Chai-Star says would be amazing if you could find original art of toy. Oh, see, now this is a whole nother series. This is a whole chasing down the original
conversation
on the toy packages, because some of those. Well, first of all, the 80s GI Joes, the early 80s, you got your file card, your Larry Hamlin's at work writing the profile. So the mix of the art and the profile, that was definitely part of the overall experience, being able to play with those 80s GI Joes. But now you come back to those early mid 70s, late 60s GI Joes, and that was like, they might as well have had like Frank Frazetta drawing the art in there, or a Boris Vallejo, or it was absolutely
that big. Yeah, it was that big of a deal. Yeah.
Fanboy Cantina before he took off. Adam Strange, thank you. Yes, Adam Strange.
Adam Strange.
I put
you
them
said
in
the rocket, the backpack rocket got me thinking, right.
I put them in the same tier level together. Very, very cool. All right, well, our commenters, if you have any other things that you want to kick around or discuss, or any questions for MIB or for myself, feel free to come on in with those. So John, you've kind of already said you've funneled your focus. You've defined with distinction which way you're looking to go in your collecting and such. Now, let me take this opportunity to kind of try to sweeten the pot. Like, as we're saying, it's going to happen in some way. Now that Chai-Star has the Cleveland connection, I feel like we can meet closer to the territory of the MIB Museum.
Yeah.
But now, I also want to say, now, it would still be, if we're looking for like, what do we got? When is Mr. C diving? See, we could be on the horizon. And then, do you keep the Grail safe? Do you keep them in a case? So let's come back to Fanboy is asking us this question right here. Do you have a special protector, or do you lock them up, or they're just in the general area of the museum for Lone Ranger and Tonto?
So Long Ranger, Tonto, and that GI Combat, and the Punch figure, Chips figure, they're kept in my main collection room, where a lot of just the more expensive items, collectibles, the ones that are a little bit more, that fragile ones that they're kept there. They all have some form of covering over them, plastic covering over them, of protection. They all lay down, so flat. So there's no stress being put on them whatsoever. So they're not stacked, they're not sitting up, and they're all laying down in a nice safe area. If you see my some of my videos, you'll see that because when I shoot the videos, I'll take a lot of the coverings off of my stuff just for video purposes, so people can see, because people tell me they like to see what I'm talking about in a general video, but they like to look around the area behind that to see other stuff. So yeah, they're protected.
Let me come to, again, as Chai-Star, so I think we established last time MIB, and we're the Bat Cave, the MIB Museum, we're not putting, a tracker, and we're not putting a spider tracer on these things right now. So we're just in general terms only, we're less than an hour away from Case Western. So as Chai-Star, we'll be making some pilgrimages over that way. We will somehow, or some way, find a way to be
there in
the
middle,
same room, in the same time. Long anticipated. I'm getting excited now. I'm trying to. Okay, let me breathe. Let me pace myself down with my excitement. Let me come back to Fanboy and wrestle with ways to keep the stuff safe and not crushed by other stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Right. And it's again the shelving, sometimes your plastic shelving from your Menards or wherever else is
Yeah.
essential to this for affordability. But then
Yep.
other times you want to go with the steel bar, construct your shelves out of those same DIY or big. Anyway, it is an essential part of the collection to
Oh,
have safe presentation for the materials. Let me come back to Ted saying any news from rearranging the museum because space is tight.
yeah. Right now, what I'm focusing on, because space is I was talking about this with Mr. C prior to for us jumping on the show. It's a premium over here. Space is very golden. It's very precious. So what we're in the process of doing now is we're ordering more shelving. So, and these shelvings, I don't know if you guys can see behind me, but further up over my head, this just to give you an impression. Way back there in the back, these shelvings are shelving parts. They're huge. This smaller one that I'm pointing to right now, that's probably about 6 feet tall. The ones behind that is somewhere around the 10 feet tall range, between the 9 and 10 feet tall in height. So we're ordering about 6 more of those 9 to 10 foot tall shelves.
Man.
So that's the game plan, because we want to absorb as much items on those massive shelves as we can to create more space. Because I just want to be able to move down here a little bit better. Because like I said, the toys are just starting to take over.
And now I don't know if this is an actual helpful hint, but is from my own practice here. So these are they come in black and white if they're shown
Yes.
clearly or not. And right, so we got the Lego display and then the Lego items for storage. But now what I really like about these plastic stackable,
Yeah.
you get this Max brand or whatever it is, then if you buy 2 of them, right,
Yeah.
and they say they're built to go 5 high,
Right.
then you don't have to stick to the 5 high because they're stackable, right? You can take the 2 and go then from up to 5, up to 7, or you just mix and match. And I really, because use of vertical space is absolutely key. And then let me, again, I know that I got the laundry room door shut. I can move around a little bit more freely without risk of embarrassing myself. But let me come back over to the as referenced. Let me get out of the way. Is the Death Star.
There's the Death Star.
And over here, right, we got some bambusha. So just again, real quick, we got our Simpson Funko section. We got our Moldorama section down here, and these are shoe shelves. Again, the same thing I'm talking about, stacking the vertical space. So that's a shoe shelves and zip ties here because then I wanted to have a narrow thing for when you got like a Funko size box.
Right.
So again, Death Star and Cookie Monster. That's how we represent over here. All right, so now let me come back to where I was headed earlier. And again, just as always, just because as I was sincere in my excitement, and absolutely now that we have a bridge through TriStar to make it over to Cleveland area, that it will happen one day. But let me also write those interstates work 2 ways, and I'm just saying now MIB, it so happens I did some other scouting, some other adventures around. So similarly rated to your magnificent Big Fun Shop. If we make it over to Crown Point, Indiana, Crown Point Toys and Collectibles, highly rated as well. Maybe not
really,
of course. Anyway, so in there again, they had new stuff. They had monsters. They had superheroes. They had video game section of vintage video games. But also noteworthy, now talking about high-end pieces, like but on their upper shelves, they had statuary, and again, Marvel characters, DC characters, Star Wars characters. I'm talking some of them $700, $800, and I don't intend to go there, but that is like talking about museum quality
Yes.
pieces. Like you see, sometimes you see the shop in the mall that has like a $200 statue, and it's so well constructed. But these were like some of the finest things I have seen. Chai Star's coming back around to say it must be like Tetris. There is an element of Tetris without question. And then Ohio has very nice restaurants if you drive. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And to come back to G's question earlier about which other spots. So and then that's when I'm headed the Indiana way. Now, if I'm going the other direction up through Wisconsin, then and just even the name Meep Meepletons right here in Madison, Wisconsin. Also, as you can see, very highly rated.
Oh.
Again, talk about just the sense of wonderment walking in. As I had the picture of Apple Jacks, right? You got some bricks on either side of the door, and you see in the window there's all this inventory, and it all looks magnificent. So Meepletons up the Madison way is a magnificent spot to be able to go to. But then, as I'm saying, in the eventuality, be it C2E2 or be it if Johnny so chose to try the Kane County Toy Show over here, and then maybe combine that with some other business on another day. There's big fun already. Geek Toy Hut. Man, talk about real estate. Geek Toy Hut, highly rated also.
Wow.
I credit Mrs. C to the recent discovery of Geek Toy Hut, and it's a nice 2-punch with Geek Toy Hut and Turbo Toys up in the northwest suburbs around here. So, and now I feel, is Ted still watching? I feel bad. I feel bad that I have a handful of spots that maybe, but hey, that's all the more reason to hope that Ted will come up one day and we'll be able to hang out.
Absolutely.
I will be remiss if I don't also mention it. So just down the street from Smash and right near Aw Yeah Comics, which is Art Baltazar, both the comic creator.
Oh, right.
And Art watches your channel. So that's another agenda item I have is Art watches the MIB channel all the time. And so be it C2E2 or some kind of way.
How cool is that?
That's one of my white whales, holy grails to be there.
I'd love to meet Art too.
Meeting in some kind of way.
That'd be cool.
So just
that'd be really cool. Art's a good guy.
Absolutely. Kapow Toys is maybe a 5-minute walk from Art Store. Now he just moved from being in the city in Chicago over to Skokie, and again, you see in there he's got some Japanese import things. He's got some Shogun Warrior kind of things. He's got some vintage board games in there. It is again, the simple pleasures of summer. And then when it's not summer, just having somewhere to go to pass your time, to have some retail therapy, to have some visual stimulation.
Therapy.
We
need it.
It is some good stuff as I'm chomping on an ice cube. So Johnny, other things. So besides collecting, do you care to comment? What are your summer highlights that you're looking forward to?
Besides collecting?
Besides collecting, out of the museum, out in the real world, touching grass. What are the things that might possibly be? And so here locally, right, 7-Eleven, your corner store, your convenience store, on the date of July 11th, they're giving out the free Slurpees.
Really?
So that's something we built in our summer routine. Do you have great or small things that you look forward to on the horizon? You had some vacation time just recently.
Yeah, vacation time, and I'm in the midst of that right now. So I always like to frequent my my favorite comic book shop named Comics Are Go, and so I love going there and checking out what they have, because like I said, they have all the older comics that I grew up with as a kid. So more likely, I think probably in the next couple days, I'll check that out. I try to get there at least once a week, especially when I'm on vacation. I got some downtime. I like to go get something to drink, grab a coffee or something, head over there and spend about an hour just going through comics, you know, trying to see if I can add something to my museum collection, the comic book collection. So always a pleasant experience going over there. Sometimes, man, I don't make it past my front porch. I just sit on my bench on my front porch with my coffee or my drink or whatever, and just right before it gets kind of warm outside or something, those earlier hours, and just relax. You know, I find in my old age, just that calm, peaceful time by myself is just, it's so important.
And
Reflection.
to play off of that same concept, right? I got, you know, Thor is the thunder god of the weather, and I was having words with Thor because my original plan was, and I don't mind highlighting all these wonderful toys inside. So in a way, this was more fitting. But as we had done in the past, I wanted to be outside in my little hut.
The tiki hut with all the
because it's so relaxing to be out there, but the winds were not in agreement with that. It was rattling around, it was too much background noise. An occasional airplane that we can muffle over, but when the winds are banging around out there, so I came inside. But I just the idea of sometimes you don't have to go beyond your front porch or beyond your back hangout area. Anyway. Where was I coming now? Ted, the goal was not to make Ted jealous, so I feel a twinge of guilt now, but the goal is to dream of the day where we will
get out to Georgia,
be able to hang out in a spot.
How cool would that'd be great. That'd be great to see all you guys in person, hang out with you guys. I wish there was something that, you know, there was like a Migo meet or something that was in the general area where everybody was close enough to get everybody there. That would be really cool to hang out with you guys. But you know what? It's gonna happen. Right. I feel it. I really feel it. I think it's gonna really happen.
Time and place. All right. Well, I mean, obviously we could keep going, right? I could go pull this. I could go pull that. But let me see. You know,
we'll be here all night. It's that fun, right?
And man, so let's say again, you know, we summer's not over. You know, there will be goals to have an in-person meetup, some kind of way, and then whenever it falls to the calendar, we'll have another conversation here with the cameras on.
Absolutely.
MIB again, and let me say in closing, it is not just your material and your content and your camera work and your style, but again, you run your ship. You maintain your museum, you know, it's pleasantries. It's and again, some people want to use grown people language on their channels. You keep it cordial, you keep it family friendly. You know, it's, you know, I'm comfortable to watch your material with a person of any age. And so just your whole way, your whole presentation, it's a magnificent thing. So yeah, if you're not subscribed to MIB Master 1979, please do that. And of course, I don't mind if people want to next live stream. We can't close the show without Chai Star asking when is the next live stream. To be determined. As I'm sitting here now, looking just over the way, there are the NECA, Ben Cooper, and I know you've highlighted them in the not too distant past on your channel. Right. And see, here's what I keep doing, because there are a bunch of them glow in the dark. So then I gotta wait till it's dark out, so then I can run the glow in the dark feature. And I'm like, I'm too tired now. I'm not going to do it. But who knows? Soon, I will highlight the gifts from Fanboy himself, which are the NECA monsters with their glow in the dark faces on their Halloween. John, do you have anything set from when's your next transmission coming around on the MIB channel, or just when inspiration strikes?
You know what? Look for something within the next 2 to 3 days. You know, next two, 3 days, I got some stuff coming, and maybe some more announcements, probably by the end of the week. So listen, tune in, but definitely within the next 3-4 days, definitely at the end of the week, you can see some more uploads from us, some more content, with some more input. That I got some other announcements coming. So definitely, I try to stay as busy as I can in the museum with keeping those videos coming out. Because I have a lot of subscribers that'll reach out to me and say, "Hey, what's happening? What's going on?" Sometimes they look, I'm tired. I'm tired. But I, like I said, now I'm on vacation, so I got time to kind of relax and rest up and just play down here in the museum and let my mind wander and just kind of put things together. What type of video I would like to come out with, and what type of subject I would like to touch on in regards to our hobby. So yeah, definitely next 3 4 days, end of the week, we'll be there.
As we're here on Sunday, June 28th, calendar year 2026. If somebody is watching this not live and it's already July of 2026 or later, then do hop on to MIB's channel and see what was in the teaser that's being teased right here, right now.
Teaser, right.
I'm glad we did this. I'm always glad when we do this. Let me, as I always close out by thanking all the commenters. So, of course, thank you to Chai Star. Thank you to Junkyard. Ted, you're a prince of a man. Ted, thank you for the wealth of comments.
Yes.
Also, we did have a lot of junk. And Randy, again, Graveyard Club podcast. Do check that out. And then also we had Ted again, Sailor King, Nightwing. Thanks for coming by. And I think I've gotten to everybody that did comment. So always appreciate all our commenters. I'm closing this out. Thanks, everybody. You come back in the non-live comments. What are you looking forward to in your summer? What are your simple pleasures? Are you getting a free Slurpee? What toys are you chasing? Oh, hey, hell yeah, great man! It's coming out 8 o'clock Cleveland time. It's coming out 7 o'clock Chicago now. Randy is putting in the late hours across the ocean, and that is much appreciated. I'm closing this out. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you again real soon.